Sports Fantasies with Miller and McCarty.
I am McCarty. That is Miller. Here we go again. Sports Fantasies top 10 Dynasty shortstops. A position that's near and dear to my heart. A lot of people said I could have went pro at that position. Didn't quite pan out because I wasn't very good. But nonetheless, let's move into our top 10. Miller.
I once did see you hit a monster bomb in Belfast, New York.
Thank you. Thank you for the praise. Who are we going first overall Dynasty shortstop, Mr. Miller?
Bobby Witt. Next.
Yes, you better go Bobby Witt.
5'2" guy, just all-around stud. I recently traded him to you in a Dynasty league, and it made my year because it made another owner mad, and that was worth even potentially me losing that deal, which I don't think I did. I think it was pretty even. But
yeah, I went out and got Bobby in a couple leagues. Pretty excited about that. Look, yeah, like you said, 30 home runs last year, 50 stolen bases. I think you'd still love to see him in a better lineup to see what he could do, but he's even pretty much he's hit proof even on the Royals lineup. So number 2, I would go another very young guy. Not as much confidence in this guy as in Bobby Witt, but I still like the guy a lot. Elly De La Cruz burst onto the scene last year with the Reds. Last quarter of the season, last couple months of the season, he came back down to earth. But I think he's still got that huge potential. 13 home runs, 35 stolen bases. He's in that Reds park, hitter's park. Elite power, elite speed. That's what I'm looking for in a Dynasty player.
Yeah, I had Elly at number 2 on my list as well. So number 3 for me then, since you went Elly, I'm going to go maybe a little bit of a surprise here, and I'm going to go C.J. Abrams at number 3.
Okay.
I love his potential. I think he is going to end up being a high average guy. He's going to be able to – he runs decent. I believe he'll score runs. Probably lacks a little power compared to especially compared to the first 2 guys we mentioned. But he could develop that. He's only 23. So, yeah, I like Abrams quite a bit. So I take him at 3.
Yeah, I had him a lot lower, but I get putting him up that high. Number 3, this guy is 28, but really seems like he's just coming into his prime. It's Corey Seager. Of course, there's always the health issue there with him, but last couple of seasons he's been healthy. Back-to-back 33 home run seasons. Hit 327 as well last year. No stolen bases, so you're not getting that out of him. But in that Texas lineup for the next 5-6 years, he should put up pretty elite numbers.
He failed to make my list because of the injury thing. I had him on this list twice, and I took him off both times.
That's fair.
There's one guy at the bottom of my list, though, that shouldn't be there. Seeger definitely deserves to be there over him. But anyways, I digress. With my 4th pick and what is that, the 7th pick of the draft? No, my 3rd pick, the 5th pick of the draft. You would think the guy that's leading this segment would be, keeping track of this.
No, I lost track a long time ago.
Bo Bichette.
Okay.
From the Blue Jays, another guy, high ceiling, but comes with a lot of risk, right? I think he finished 3-6 or so in our league last year. So comes with a lot of risk, has all 5 tools, can hit for an average, can hit home runs, can hit doubles, but he also can strike out a decent amount and somehow he disappeared in that lineup last year for a big portion of the season.
Yeah, if you're in a category league, I put Bichette a lot higher. In the points league we have, I rank him lower. And my concern with him is, he used to be a big stolen base guy early on in his career. Those have just plummeted. He barely gets anymore, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but still definitely a young stud. All right, so this is what do you just what? Okay, pick 6.
It's pick 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go Trea Turner here, 30 years old. Still good for about 25 homers, 30 stolen bases most seasons, healthy for the most part. He's probably more of a guy you're taking if you're a team that's trying to compete and win now. But he's got 4 or 5 years left as a top 5 shortstop probably.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. So the guy I'm going to go at number 7 here is going to be another young guy, kind of broke onto the scene last year, and that's Matt McClain.
Yeah.
I want to say he's 23, 24 as well, hitting in that Reds lineup. We've mentioned a lot of Reds tonight. If these guys continue to develop, that could be a really fun team to watch in a hitter's park. So I would take McClain at 7 and feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I had him up at 5. I like his upside a lot. So at pick 8 then, I'm going to keep it semi-young here. Injuries concern me, but it's hard to stay away from the potential. It's O'Neal Cruz, 25 years old, 30 home run guy, 25 steals. Again, the only thing that's really holding him back from being higher on lists is the injury concern.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's 6'7" and weighs 112 pounds.
Yeah.
So I guess at 9 then, I'm going to have to take Jackson Holliday. I mentioned that I had one prospect on both my top 10 list and on my prospect list. This is the guy, Jackson Holliday. Everyone's very excited about him. Was recently the number 1 pick. I can't seem to get him in any league because everyone likes him so much. Another guy that has the 5 tools and, should be making a difference fairly soon, I would think, in major league parks.
Yeah, the Orioles are just loaded.
They really are. They've done such a good job drafting.
Yeah, and I had Holliday in my prospect list, but I could easily see him going top 10 Dynasty as well.
Yeah, he's the one guy I put on both of the lists.
So at 10 then, if this guy were still on the board for me, I think I'd have to go here with it. Another little bit older guy in terms of baseball years, Francisco Lindor, 30 years old. But again, he's going to get you – he's going to do what he does, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He's about as solid and consistent as it gets. So go ahead. Did you have anybody that didn't make the list?
Yeah, I actually had 2 guys that didn't get drafted here. One that I was surprised about and one that shouldn't be on my list. The one I was surprised about was Lawler out of Arizona. I was surprised that you didn't take him there at the end.
I put him on my prospect list. But...
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't put him on a prospect list because, of course, that was the one thing that we didn't talk about until after my list was done and yours wasn't. But not that it matters. I think he's good enough to, be one of those top 10 shortstops.
Yeah, he's probably going to play this season. Yeah.
Hung-Sung Kim was the other guy on my list because he's still in his mid-20s, and he showed last year. He showed some flashes last year. Not necessarily going to be a home run guy, but most people knew that. But he hits for a high average and can steal, score runs, and
he's become a solid player. Triples. All right, so where'd you go with your first prospect?
I'll just say Jackson Holliday as my first prospect. I believe he's the top prospect in the game right now. At least top prospect that probably isn't going to see much game action this year, if any. So I would definitely start with Holliday.
Yeah, I had Holliday, and then I had Lawler on here. We already talked about him a little bit. Poor debut last year when he came up to the MLB, but again, limited sample size. Between AA and AAA last year, he had 20 homers, 36 steals, elite speed grade, hits it hard, and I think ends up being the starting shortstop for them this year.
I would agree with that. The second guy I had was Jackson Merrill.
Yeah.
From the Padres. He's high on a lot of these lists. Top 10 MLB prospect right now. Only problem is he could potentially find it difficult to break through that lineup. I mean, if you have Kim still playing well, although it is possible that Kim could go potentially play second, but then you got Bogarts there too. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. Who is your next prospect?
Yeah, Merrill made my list as well. And then so I'll just give you my last one here. Marco Luciano, San Francisco. I believe he'll be the starting shortstop there this year. He's got a power grade. If you believe the MLB prospect listed, all those can be a little bit hit or miss. But power grade is 65. I mean, I've seen projections of him, 270 and 35 home runs year after year. I don't know if that comes to fruition. But I do love the upside a lot there, and I think he's 22.
Yeah, he's been on that list for quite a while. Although I didn't put him on my list. I put Marcelo Mayer from the Red Sox ahead of him.
He would have been my next. Yeah.
I'm a big Mayer guy. And again, I think he has a pretty clear path into that lineup in the next year, too. I mean, we all know Trevor Story is going to be hurt and, probably not there for much longer. So I like Mayer quite a bit. Another 5-tool guy.
Is that all you got, or you got any other prospects?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right, then. That wraps up our top 10 Dynasty shortstop.
I don't know what order the folks are going to be watching this, but the next one is catcher. The one that everyone is waiting for.
That's
just
the big one.
Fellas. Just
very
wait.
Nice.
All right. We'll be back.
5.
Thank you for listening to Sports Fantasies with Miller and McCarty. And be sure to catch future shows wherever you stream.
Bye-bye now.